All right, and we're back. Movie review segment time. HSC Podcast 160. Still got Big Buck Steve on the mic, Big Smooth, and Fresh Wes. We're all here for the weekly movie review. And no top five of the overrated movies, but I think we'll come back to that topic because it seems to get a lot of attention from the viewers. So I like that topic as well. But coming into, new season, we're limited on our movie input or how much time we spend on movies. But I still do like the character or the actor should say movies that we've been doing. So we're running that segment tonight, and so tonight's actor we chose for this week is Matt Damon, and so we pick our three Matt Damon movies. And let's get started. Let's jump into it. So it's just talk about Matt Damon for a second. I've always liked him as an actor, so I don't mind, watching any movie he's in. Has there been bad ones? Sure. Are there great ones? Sure. You know, for me, you talk about stuff like the Jason Bourne series, or the Bourne series, it's just amazing to me. I love that series. I could watch it over and over again. But we didn't pick that because we wanted to get some, little different Matt Damon experience here, and we kind of rolled the gambit a little bit here. And so I like the movies we picked. They were all real fun to watch, and so let's talk about them. Let's start with the Rainmaker. I mean, it's the older of the bunch, and he's a young guy there. So why the Rainmaker, Derek?
Well, because they just made a TV show about the Rainmaker, and like I watched the previews for it, and I got really irritated and upset. And I was like, this looks so stupid compared to how awesome this movie is. I mean, come on. You replaced, I don't even know. You replaced Mickey Rourke with um the evil queen from Once Upon a Time. Come on. Really?
I
Call her
mean,
Bruiser.
right.
So I always enjoy John Grisham books that I've read a lot of his books and then I've seen a lot of his movies. For me, I think Rainmaker is the best John Grisham adaptation movie. The whole because Matt Damon's he is the whole movie really. He's the narrator and it's just a great story for me. I love the fact that he's fresh out of law school can't gets a job with the guy that like has to runs out of a strip mall. And his first real big case is a insurance case and against like six lawyers. So for me, I really enjoy the Rainmaker and the cast. Danny Glover as the judge, and you had John Voight as the defendant's attorney. Danny DeVito as Matt Damon's sidekick, pretty much. So yeah, I really enjoy Rainmaker. That one and Runaway Jury are my two favorite John Grishams.
Nice. Yeah, those are both really good. I mean, I agree. The Rainmaker has got to be the best or up there, if not the best. The Matt Damon does a great job in the movie because I think he just played the role almost as he would play the role if he was really in it, It was easy for him to play that role because you can just go in and be like, look, I'm a lawyer, I don't know what I'm doing, but I can make all these mistakes but I have someone in Danny DeVito playing his sidekick, Deck, and then also Danny Glover as the judge, keeps correcting his mistakes, and that's the fun part of the movie. The story part is just heart wrenching. It's such a hard movie to watch for what these people go through, but the in particular case. I mean, you're watching this guy with leukemia, like getting ran over by big insurance, and it just kind of rips your heart out. And he literally signs in blood, he's bleeding all over the thing he's signing, and so that part of it, I mean, it's such an amazing story, and obviously how it ends is great, but you got to look at two things also: the way John Voight played the representation for the insurance company and their lawyer and everything he did. Man, he really killed that role. And I also really love Mickey Rourke as Bruiser. And you can't replace that. One, I agree, but also he's a lot smarter than you think he is, but he's also into these, got his hands in other things, and ends up, really help him out in the case. So a lot of great acting in it, but man, what a heartbreaker! Such a good movie. What do you think, Wes?
Well, it's a Francis Ford Coppola movie. I and when before I watched it, the stupid thing was is I thought I was taping it. I was like, oh wow, it's on. Like, what a coincidence. Like when I found out the night we were gonna do it. But it was the series. And I watched some of the series, and it was ridiculous. I was like, this is stupid. I thought, yeah. I was like, what is this? I didn't even know there was a series. And so I was like, this is insane. So yeah, and then it was on a couple like a week later or whatever, and I watched it. And I hadn't watched it in a while. Um, but yeah, John Voight's one of my favorite actors. Like he just kills that role. Um, but I forgot the particulars about the insurance company itself, and then yeah, the dying son. Um, but there's a lot of actors in the movie. Um, I didn't remember like Danny DeVito and um, I mean freaking Claire Danes is in the movie. It's like, but this was like the 90s. This is what happened in the 90s. It's like back then, like everybody was in the like all these people that could star in other movies or ensembles or supporting roles in the movie. It's just such a different time now. Is the movie was made in 1997. Um, yeah, it's one of my favorite John Grisham's adaptations too, and I love Few Good Men when it comes to lore movies. Um, but yeah, it's one of the great endings. And the amazing thing is it's you know it's entertaining. It's not hard to follow. So yeah.
It's great storyline, great plot, well written, well acted. It is one of my favorite movies to watch. So I've seen it enough, but just to pull it up and watch it again, you're like, wow, this is so good.
Yeah, and the thing about a book is you still have to adapt it into a screenplay. And I thought it was, I mean, I've never read the book, but it just seems like, it was really well done.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that's a great pick there. By the way, Derek, great movie, Rainmaker. Check it out. If you didn't hear the reviews, go back and listen. But Matt Damon and The Rainmaker. So, still, here we go. Moving on. Next one, Wes. The Informant. Tell us why you picked this and what you like about it.
Because I never seen it. I was looking through movies. I was like, what is a Matt Damon movie I haven't seen? And I've pretty much seen every single one. And I've seen them multiple times. But The Informant was interesting. Um, so Matt Damon plays a guy named Mark Whitaker who works for this Archer Daniels Midland company, uh, which they deal in um, like producing lysine. And so they're the FBI begins to investigate, um, Whitaker, and Whitaker, admits to the company being involved in price fixing lysine on a global scale, which is like it's used in commercial livestock. But Damon's role is so much different he's really quirky. He says random things that are hilarious. He almost seems like he's OCD. I couldn't quite figure it out. It's like, is he just OCD or is he's just a nerd?
It's like a
But
weird guy.
he's he's just he just becomes paranoid, and he goes and he tells the truth to the FBI about about the price fixing and um, yeah, and then he, I guess secretly, I mean, you find out that he does struggle with some sort of, was it disorder? Is it like it's like bipolar?
Yeah, I think they did call it bipolar in the movie.
Yeah, and so it's a really different role than he's played before. Um, and the twists and towards the end of the movie, it really goes into like how it's interesting about just kind of like just the how price fixing actually works at every level of like food production, and it's interesting. It's an interesting movie. It's pretty funny. It's kind of hard to watch. I kind of lose a little bit of interest, but but
Yeah, it was a good movie. I'd be honest, I haven't seen it before either until I just watched it. It was so different a role than you see Matt Damon play typically, or he may have played something similar, but nothing like this. And he is so odd in the movie.
it's so weird to see Scott Bakula in the movie.
Yeah, Scott
Who is
Bakula
the
too.
FBI
This is
agent.
kind of
Like,
opposite, of the Rainmaker here because there are some people in the movie, but nothing like a movie like we just talked about, right?
yeah, and seeing Ann Cusack in it, and that was just kind of random.
Right.
So
So and the story is crazy in the sense that the basically corn, whatever their company is into, is corn syrup. It's corn and everything, high fructose corn syrup, and it's really like a bad business. And then they move it to lysine, and they're trying to get into that, make a bunch of money off that. And it's like, man, you're just dealing with this company that's just a horrible company, really. Like you're selling all this stuff that really kind of makes people sick, but it makes you a lot of money that you can throw into food. You're like, awesome. You're like, and but then Matt Damon's story changes so many times, and like you can't really figure out who's doing what. And ultimately, like he's doing really the bad thing too, right? And he's so even though that company is bad, like he's actually doing just as bad stuff in his cover-ups, and then he gets like real weird when the company stops like having the FBI investigate him, then the FBI starts pushing him. And then it's just like goes off the rails with all this stuff. And he runs in the house that one time. He's like, they kidnapped me. He like just made stuff up out of the blue. And then I was like, is this because at the beginning it says it's based on true events, but they've, rescripted a lot of it.
yeah,
And so it was kind of wild. It was it's interesting to watch though, especially the beginning to me when they do start talking about the price fixing and what they're producing, why they're producing it, and how they're going to produce. Well, because if we're going from corn to lysine too, that's just the epitome of the world. And then like the movie like changes into this like back and forth like crazy thing that Damon's going through. I liked it though. I mean, it was worth the watch. It's not. I wouldn't watch it a bunch of times, but it was good to pick one that we haven't seen. Had you seen this
Yeah,
before,
I mean
Derek?
everything you guys said. I had never seen it either.
Wow.
I've heard of it, but I never saw it. And it was interesting, like to go kind of off the way of the movie, but to like what actually happened in real life is, yeah, he was in jail for 8.5 years.
Yeah.
for embezzlement.
Yeah, he
That
embezzled
was
like a
like,
bunch of money, right? Like
yeah,
9 million,
400 million.
400 million. Wow.
That was what was the crazy thing about it was you like they're trying FBI's trying to do about this licensing thing, and then you got on the other hand you're like, wait a minute, this dude, he's got something going on also.
Right. Because in the movie it was like 9 million or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But so you're saying in real life it was like 400 million?
Yeah, it was
Wow.
well, let's see. No, that was what the class act. No, you're right. It was 9 million. The class
Oh, okay.
action lawsuit that was for 400 million. But he embezzled 9 million by himself.
Right. That's how, I mean, in the movie, he's got all those fancy cars and things like that. And you're like, man, how does this dude have all these cars in his garage?
Right.
He's driving a Porsche, next day he's driving a Benz. Like, he's going back and forth. He's got a Ferrari in there.
Not spend embezzling his money or saving his money wisely.
Right.
So yeah,
I
it
couldn't
was,
tell.
and it was just kind of, it was a weird movie because it's like he was so off-putting because you're watching and you're like, what is going on with this dude? He's
Right.
got something going on.
Well,
Like
I
in the
like how
first,
the random things he says, it's so weird.
well, in
Like,
the first 10 minutes, I'm like, nah, he's not a good guy. I could tell. You could just tell.
Well, you're it was confusing because it's like he seemed like he was being set up by the either the CEO or CFO of the company that he was being set up, and then so you're thinking this guy's getting sued. They're in on it. They're screwing him, and then it just twists into the tapping of the phones, and
right.
then it's like okay, yeah, he doesn't know what's going on here. But then the more that he lies and digs his own grave, you're
Right.
realizing he's doing just things. He's covering up just like they are.
I had a hard time knowing if the wife was in on it the whole time as well.
Yeah, because the wife's like, tell him about that this isn't a company line. And then you're like, well, how does she, like,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
he tells the FBI agent that, and it's like, it was confusing at first, and then you start realizing, oh yeah, he totally knows what's going on.
yeah, the wife definitely threw me for a loop.
And then you're like, what is this, like Fight Club? He just doesn't remember. And then it's like, yeah, the cars and everything. It's like,
No, he just good at making up stories, man.
yeah.
Like, he just was making stuff up. So it's worth the watch. So yeah, if you're listening and you like Matt Damon, you want to see him in a different role, The Informant.
And it's free on YouTube with subtitles.
Nice. Yeah, I mean it's Steven Soderbergh though. I mean
Yeah.
he's a great writer. So apparently he's not as great a director. I don't know.
What did he say about his hands? My hands are my favorite part of my body.
Yeah.
Because when I explain things, it's like, what are you talking
Yeah. Like
about?
when he's dude, he said so many random
Yeah.
lines. It's throughout the whole movie that you're just like, what? But yeah, the story though got me quick though, which is kept me interested in the movie because those are the kind of stories that you want to see, like what's happening and how it's happening, and it's a little bit behind the scenes inside information that they're giving you. All right, well, that takes us to the next, which is 2010. This is the Green Zone, and I hadn't seen this in a while. But when I saw it, I was going through different Matt Damon movies. There's a lot I wanted to pick, but I really actually remember enjoying him in this movie the first time I saw it. So I was like, gotta watch it again. So this is the story of the second war in Iraq, and basically these guys are going in after trying to find these WMDs. That was kind of the reason that we went to war, and he's the, you know, chief warrant officer leading teams to go do a lot of these searches, and the searches are coming up empty, and he's getting intel, and he's got his superiors saying things, and he's got intelligence agencies telling him things. And it's kind of like you just look at this guy like he's just trying to do the right thing, and he's getting caught in the middle, and then he's getting frustrated, and he's kind of a badass, not Jason Bourne badass, but you expect him if he's the chief, that he can throw down a little bit. I mean, has some great interaction, with the with another part of the militaries. We talk special forces, and you're talking whether what it doesn't matter what side of the military it is, what branch, like they're all kind of badasses. So when they have that fight scene, kind of fighting over the information, the book, I think, yeah, the book, that's fun to watch. The overall movie, though, it's got great action as you go. It never like lets you just kind of doze off. There's a small parts where they're talking about intel, but it's very important to the movie. But also there's tons of raids, different types of raids. They end up having to go after they get intelligence on the general, that they've been looking for. And I love how they have playing cards of all the guys they're trying to capture. You're like, geez, like what is happening here? And then great way to finish the movie too, like the ending. I don't want to give the whole movie away, but the ending is just solid. With the where they're just going out, and you love seeing things like night vision and drones, and they do a really good job with the authenticity of the movie and the warfare. So loved watching it again. Pretty good cast as well. Like, there's some guys in it that uh, Brendan Gleeson killed his role as the Martin Brown, and Greg Kinnear is great in it. Obviously, Matt Damon played a great one, and then I can't remember the guy's name that played the other.
Jason Isaacs.
Was that him?
He played Briggs, the guy that
Yeah,
beat the
yeah,
crap out of
that's
him.
yep, yeah, Jason Isaacs. So I thought he did a great job as well. So great movie. I think it's worth the watch. And whether you like Matt Damon or not, it's a good movie. If you like Matt Damon, you're gonna really love this movie. And that's Green Zone. What do you guys got?
I thought it was all right. It was kind of a paint by numbers movie for me. You kind of maybe because I've seen a lot of movies before, and I kind of already knew what was gonna, you know, after the first 5 or 10 minutes, you're like, oh, okay, this is what's gonna happen. And then you're like, oh, okay, Greg Kinnear's the bad guy, and it's kind of like it's a paint by numbers because you're like, okay, and then the general's not going to be a bad guy, really. And so it was a good movie, but it's not. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to talk about what happened in Iraq in the Second World War, in the Second War. But for me, it was like, okay, yeah, your twists you're trying to have were kind of played, but it was still for people that don't watch tons of movies, it's a good movie to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's most movies ultimately when you've seen these stories, because they're trying to put like a it's not you can't say it's 100% true story, but they're trying to put like how it was viewed by certain people into a movie. And the only way you can do that is to try to make it interesting and try to fit some type of plot and twists into those. And that's where it's a little easier to pick up on plot twists.
And it was cool as a lot of the soldiers in it were actual military soldiers.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because like I said, it's kind of based on experiences. Like they were trying to like take people's experiences and then turn it into a movie. What'd you think, Wes?
I hadn't seen the movie in a while, so I forgot. I mean, a lot of stuff is like watching for the first time. Um, Number one, how they made the movie is incredible. Just the production itself shooting, on location. The aerial shots of Baghdad were interesting just because, I mean, honestly, I'd never seen stuff like this on the news. You didn't have this type of, overview and then how they, the conflicts with the Iraqi citizens with the soldiers and the raids. Everything was just like top of the line production. I can't believe that they can even make movies like that. Just it was so realistic on that end. But yeah, the twist, some of it was, knowing some of the information when they start talking about weapons of mass destruction and what they didn't find. Some of it was interesting, some of it was overplayed. Um, but the scene where Damon finally says, they have the meeting and he just comes out and says, look, we're not finding what you're thinking we're finding. I'm telling you what we've gone through. We're going doing these raids. We're not finding anything. Your intel is screwed. And then everyone's like, you know what? No, it's solid. It's like, no, it's not. We are on the ground. We are out there. You are not. And then that's when Martin Brown comes in. And that scene with Martin Brown and Greg Kinnear when we're in the war room, when they're talking about, okay, we're going to divide up, we're going to divide up the Shias and the Sunnis. This is the guy that's going to take over. He's like, this guy should not take over. And Martin Brown's like telling him look, it's like you're going to disband the whole Iraqi army. Who's going to run the country? And he's like, well, we defeated the Iraqi army. A lot of this stuff is in, like, I've seen it in other documentaries about how they screwed up disbanding the Iraqi military, and they all go all underground. But then reading some of the reviews of the movie, people say they criticize that take. There's stuff that they say is not true that happened in the movie, but I mean, like I said, I haven't seen it so long that it was it was I liked it. It's just it's been a while since you kind of relive all that stuff that we went through so many years ago. And it's like, whoa, I haven't seen this in years.
Right.
I got to catch up on what I actually thought back then versus what I.
Well, I just remember like how big it was and when it happened and a lot of people it got dismissed by media, conspiracy theories, things like that, but it is one of those movies that just it makes you look at things and go, well, this is just that's the way things are and sometimes that's unfortunate. Especially when it comes to chain of command and then the guys on the ground and then what you're being told versus what they're telling the public versus what's happening and then just kind of that the
Yeah,
whole like redoing of a country, with their army and their political and things like that. And like we know that's how it works,
yeah.
and that's just what they're saying.
It's the guy that you want. And then he's like, then when Kinnear's like, no, this is what the American people want. Like when they disbanded the Iraqi, like we defeated them. It's like, dude, you're not being realistic here. Like,
Right.
who's going to run the country?
But
They're all going to go underground
that's
and
what
we're going
they
to start
do
fighting.
though.
Yeah.
And they've done that in a lot of countries, so it's not a shocker at this point, but it's a shocker that, there's a lot of that, oh, it's may not be that way.
The words that the generals were using, I'm like, come on, did they really say that? Oh, it's strong. It's because he kept saying, look, we did this. And it's like, okay, you're kind of overplaying this. Don't tell me this is how they talk. Like, this is just, oh, there's nothing to see here,
Right.
But who knows?
Yeah, I mean it's my kind of movie because I do like a lot of military movies, and so plot wise, however it's done, good, bad, if the action's great and it feels realistic on that side, I enjoy them.
Well, and do you know, here to put a little spin on here, this movie was delayed. It was actually shot before The Informant, but they wanted to Matt Damon and the director Greengrass wanted to reshoot like a third of the movie because they didn't like the tone of the last third,
Yeah.
but they had to wait because Matt Damon had to film in The Informant.
Wow, split filming, huh?
Yep. So that's why Informant came out before.
Right. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, 2010, 2009. Well, I mean, that wraps up Green Zone. So, movies Green Zone. If you haven't didn't hear it, go back, check out the reviews, see what we had to say. Overall, just finishing up here, let's just talk Matt Damon for a second. There's a lot of other movies we could have picked. Obviously, I love the informant pick because, good chance we hadn't seen it. Rainmaker is just a classic, and I like it. I like Green Zone for the action, but you talk about movies like, say, any of the Bourne series, right? A very strong performance in that. I think he shows some versatility there. Um, we talked about a few at the beginning, Goodwill Hunting, obviously early in the career. What are some other, uh, just throw on the list Matt Damon movie people should check
Well,
out?
one of his early ones was School Ties, where he plays the anti-Semitic student there trying to get rid of Brendan Fraser. He's the antagonist of Brendan Fraser in that movie. And he's pretty awful in that one.
Awful as a person in the movie or in the
Yes, as
acting?
a person in the movie, not
Yeah,
like an actor, but no. His character was,
right.
and then you got Dogma. Gotta love Dogma. Any of his Kevin Smith things he's in, lots of cameos. Um, we got Saving Private Ryan,
Right, Ryan, yeah.
All the Oceans,
In the Oceans movie.
Talented Mr. Ripley is one that doesn't get enough.
Yeah, that actually is good. We probably should have done that one because that doesn't get any enough love at all. He's actually pretty good in Oppenheimer. It's a newer movie, and Air as well with the about Michael Jordan.
Jordan. And then
That's
of course, we talk probably one of our favorite ones is Rounders, right?
yeah, Rounders. Um, Even movies not as well known. Elysium was interesting as a sci-fi movie. Um, you know, Ford versus Ferrari. It's name. I you always have to remind people that are younger The Departed. If you've not seen The Departed, you have to watch The
Right.
Departed. You have to. He's really good in that movie.
I thought Wes was going to do double Departed on us and do The Departed again.
How much more time? How much more time than The Departed?
You can't have that movie on the podcast that many times. Yeah, a lot of great movies though. I mean, there's still more we didn't mention, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy Matt Damon as an actor. All three of these movies were fun to watch. I mean, if you're going to choose one of the three, obviously Rainmaker is one of his best.
Well, and then for me, I forgot. This is the one that was on. Like you talk about, like Shawshank Redemption is always on TV, and you always stop and watch it, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's The Martian. Whenever The Martian is on, I'll just like start watching it.
Yeah, it's one of those that you're not gonna. I usually don't go out and start watching them until you see it on. You're like, oh, this is so good. I gotta watch now.
Yeah, you might get stuck. You're like, oh, just flipping through channels. You're like, oh, The Martian, and you just put it on, and then you watch the entire movie.
Right. Yeah. So that's our wrap up our weekly movie review there with Matt Damon movies.
Matt Damon.
Oh man. So yeah, next week we'll still be coming to you with weekly movie stuff. And so if you like the movie segment, we're not going to let that go through football season like we did last year. So we'll still have some movie segments coming at you. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.